Welcome back to the channel and thank you for watching. I'm a barrister who helps you understand law. This morning I was sent an article about a school in Nottinghamshire in the United Kingdom, Selston High School, that had reportedly installed CCTV cameras inside the toilets. Not only that, apparently there was a screen just outside the toilets so that everybody could see inside the toilets. Now, not the cubicles, but apparently the sink area. Now, I don't think you need to be a lawyer to work out that this is probably against the right to privacy and against all data protection laws, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that in this video. Starkly contrasted with that out in public, because there's a number of issues that have come up vis-a-vis privacy and publishing videos online and so on and so forth, which I'm going to briefly tease out in this video, because there are some other videos with a fellow YouTuber who has received a letter of claim about privacy issues, which I'm going to come back to very shortly, maybe today or tomorrow, but certainly this week. So this story was reported to the press anonymously by a former student, and I should say very early on that the school has plans to take down these cameras and have said that they've been inoperative for some time because they saw that it wasn't appropriate. The former pupil also told the press that the school had a deferential culture expected towards staff. In other words, the staff expected the students just to agree with everything that the staff said and not actually question anything. Now, there are times and places where you shouldn't question something. So, for example, if you go for specialist legal advice and the lawyer tells you, based on everything you've told me, this is what I think, you're probably best placed to listen to that advice, depending on the level, seniority and expertise of the lawyer, of course. I've seen some particularly bad drafting work of some lawyers, so sometimes you should question something and get a second opinion, but by the by. And reporting to the press about these CCTV cameras in the toilets, they said despite not being able to see into the cubicles, many students felt like it was an invasion of privacy, as you should be able to use the toilets and leave without the need to film it on the corridor. Now, I know I said you don't need to be a lawyer to work out that this is wrong, but if anyone was in any doubt, you can look this up for yourself. The ICO website, which is the Information Commissioner's Office, which is the regulator for data protection in the UK, actually has a specific example for this scenario. It says in the example where a school wishes to install CCTV cameras in the toilets in order to prevent vandalism, the school would have to make a rigorous assessment based on the necessity and proportionality in order to justify the processing, that is, processing of personal data. Because anybody that can be identified by one or number of means, it means it's personal data and comes within the Data Protection Act. This is because the cameras would be recording children, particularly in an environment where there would be a natural and heightened expectation of privacy by both students and parents. And this is the real key for me here. If there was any doubt, this is the example given by the UK's regulator, and the same principles would probably apply internationally and in many other jurisdictions as well. And if they don't, then they should. From a lawyer in the UK, if any other jurisdiction doesn't have this rule, they should have this rule. It goes on. Given the potential level of intrusion, this use is unlikely to be proportionate in most circumstances. The school should seek less privacy intrusive measures in order to solve the particular problem. So as I said, in my view, in my professional and in my personal view, CCTVs in toilets is absolutely fundamentally wrong. If the school has a problem with vandalism, which is probably why these ended up in the toilets in the first place, I don't know, I haven't asked, I haven't looked into it, but it's a reasonable guess and assumption to make that they're probably trying to curb some kind of wrongdoing in the toilet, whether that's between students or whether it's vandalism or any number of things that could go on in the toilets that they want to crack down on. That's probably why they ended up with CCTV cameras in the toilets. However, if that's the case, there are a number of other measures that they should seek to address these problems, not just turning it into a police state with CCTV cameras in the toilets. I don't often voice my opinions, but this is one of those where I don't think you need to be a lawyer to talk about this issue and to say that it is wrong on so many levels. It is wrong legally, it is wrong morally, and there are a number of other ways that this should be addressed. Granted, even when I left school, I heard rumours of other children in the school fighting, dealing drugs, all kinds of things in the toilets. And bearing in mind, I left school a long time ago, things have possibly got worse since then. But either way, the school should be taking different measures to attack this problem, not by watching, recording, monitoring, and putting screens outside the toilets so everybody can see who's coming in and out. Clearly, they've done that to show people that they're being watched so that staff can see on the screens whether someone's in there or not. But either way, on a number of levels, this is just absolutely wrong. Let me know in the comments what you think. How would you feel if you had CCTV placed watching you as you come and go in and out of the toilet? I'm sure most of you are going to think that's wrong, and I think I'd be hard pressed to find any of you that think that's okay. But as promised, moving on to a more general aspect of data protection and privacy and publishing and videos and so on. As I hinted, I've been discussing with another YouTuber who's received a letter of claim, one of the aspects of which was complaints about privacy when the video was taken out in public. So just as a starting point, and to be clear, out in public, there is no automatic and certainly no right to privacy whilst you are walking about in public if you are being filmed. There is a line over which you might step when it becomes harassment, stalking and so on, but that would literally mean you have to be following someone around with a camera, filming them everywhere they go, following them home, following them to work, and so on and so forth. But for the vast majority of situations when you are out in public, many of the questions arise out of dash cam footage. So somebody has a dash cam in their car, it's recording footage. People say, can I upload this online? It's got the vehicle registration mark, the number plate of the vehicle, which can identify the vehicle, which, by the way, will be personal data for the purposes of data protection law, because that, combined with the other information, can identify the individual that owns the vehicle. So it is personal data for the purposes of the Data Protection Act. However, as I said, in public, there is no right to privacy and there's no automatic expectation of privacy in those circumstances. There may be some situations, for example, if you followed a judge out of court and you started filming them and their number plate of their vehicle. That would certainly be different because there's a reasonable expectation of privacy for a judge because of the potential backlash against the judge. So in some circumstances like that, there would be a reasonable expectation of privacy, but this would depend on all the circumstances. If it is just dashcam footage that you've recorded someone driving badly, even if there's the name of the business on the side of the van or something like that, there is no expectation of privacy in a public place. If you are filmed and you're filmed driving badly and that ends up on YouTube, that's just tough because you were out in public and there's no expectation of privacy in those circumstances. So as I say, that's just a hint to a much more in-depth video to come, but do leave me your comments on what you think about either of these scenarios, whether that be dashcam footage from your vehicle out in public or CCTV in the toilets. So let me know what you think. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you like these diverse discussions on different aspects of law. And of course, thank you for watching.